Cinema Classics is brought to you in part by the Gateway Film Center at 1550 North High Street. For films, details, showtimes, visit www.gatewayfilmcenter.com.
Cinema Classics is produced by John DeSando and Johnny DiLoretto. Listen to the shows online at WCBE.org. I'm John DeSando.
And I'm Johnny DiLoretto, and this is Cinema Classics.
Oh, yeah.
And we are at the Gateway Film Center, as usual, and a new movie is about to open.
Yeah, I'm going to go see Tammy.
Good
soon.
for you.
And it's with
I'm
Melissa.
thrilled for you.
It's with Melissa McCarthy and from
Susan
Thelma and
Sarandon.
Louise.
You know what? I heard a rumor. Yes, Susan Sarandon co-stars in this movie.
Yeah.
It's basically a road movie. Melissa McCarthy is out with her grandmother or something like that.
Yeah.
Susan Sarandon plays the grandmother.
Yes.
I actually heard somewhere, I believe it to be true, that this screenplay started out as a possible sequel to Thelma and Louise.
Well, and choosing Sarandon makes some sense.
Now think about that for a second.
They can't be.
A possible sequel.
But
One of the most iconic movie endings of all time.
the best buddy movie for women ever in all this world.
Okay, so you want to talk buddy women?
I want to talk because, you know, 2 years ago
women.
we visited this.
Yeah.
And we had really emphasized Thelma and Louise, as we should have. And then we drew in a little bit of Bridesmaid.
Mm-hmm.
But now I see Melissa McCarthy is, so to speak, dominating this genre. In part, she begins with Bridesmaids, which is really a comedy, and I know you're going to
It's a group, it's an ensemble comedy.
Right, yeah. And then last year, she and Sandra Bullock team up for Heat,
Mm-hmm.
which turns out to be not only a very lucrative film,
Yeah.
but I think it turns out to be in the face of Lethal Weapon and other buddy male movies.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. And McCarthy, as much as I complain about the derivative nature of her role, you know, she's overweight and she's sassy and she brings some things to the film that right away, you know, you're going to laugh. I think she also has a really good sense of timing. And I think that although the film is cliched in so many respects,
Yeah.
she's the loosey-goosey Boston cop. Sandra Bullock is the uptight FBI agent.
Right.
Write the script.
Okay. So she was in this big female buddy movie, Heat.
Yes.
She was also in another movie that was a hit, which was Identity Theft.
Yes, it was.
Or Identity Thief.
I think it's identity theft.
Look it up.
Yeah.
Anyway, she was in that with Jason Bateman.
Yes.
And
A
also,
many I liked that many didn't.
Yeah, many
like.
didn't, but it was still a profitable film.
Yes. Yes.
So you're saying she has kind of resurrected the buddy movie.
Yeah, because if you think about the template set by Susan Sarandon and
Gina
Gina
Davis.
Davis.
Yeah.
Um,
Gee, how could you forget?
I'm not. It came not quite as quickly as you, but
Yeah,
it came
but it
out.
came out.
Now, when you think about the two of those, and of course they're tough. They're tough ladies. They turn out to be tough ladies.
Yeah.
I mean, they blow a guy away, right?
Yeah, or at least one.
Yeah.
At least
and,
one
and
guy.
they have an unforgettable ending.
Right. And there's this bond between them.
Yeah. So how can you improve upon that? What can you do to make it different? Well, I think both Heat and I'm hoping Tammy is a different take, adding a truly comical dimension and building yet on that stereotypical notion of buddies that we've had since, you know, before Butch Cassidy.
Well, comedy is conflict.
Yeah.
So the buddy movie is perfectly structured to, you know, deliver comedy.
Yeah, okay.
Usually you take one of my favorite buddy road movies is Midnight Run.
Oh, yeah, De Niro.
And it's all about the conflicting personalities,
Yes.
right? So you have De Niro's brash, angry bounty hunter, and you have Charles Grodin's sly, talkative, garrulous kind of, you know, accountant. And so those personalities clash in comedy results. So in this movie, Tammy, just looking at it from outside, it looks to be a little bit crass. Like, you know, she's going to be exactly as you said, sort of goofy, in your face, a little over the top, you know, and then Susan Sarandon is going to be the old person. And that to me just sounds boring. I mean, unless there's some kind of element, unless there's this surprise element to their relationship, that they actually explore the depth of that relationship, or just, it doesn't even matter, doesn't even have to go too deep, just as long as they acknowledge that, something more human transpiring between a woman and her grandmother.
Well, you set the standard when you talked about Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid and the chemistry between Redford and Newman.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm saying I have a hint here that McCarthy draws out her co-conspirators the way she drew out Sandra Bullock. Now, Sandra Bullock doesn't have to be, she's an Oscar winner, and she doesn't have to have a lot of work to pull her out.
Mm-hmm.
But getting her into the groove with McCarthy, I think, has a lot to do with McCarthy's amiable, iconoclastic, easy to contrast persona. And I'm hoping that that's going to happen again with Tammy as she takes, the original from Thelma and Louise.
Yeah, I think you're getting at something bigger, John, which is comedy.
Yeah, you're right.
In general, and what has happened
You're right.
to screen comedy. There are very amusing films out there. There's always a laugh to be had,
Yeah.
or two or three, in a Will Ferrell movie, in a Steve Carell movie, in a Paul Rudd movie. All of those guys co-starring in Anchorman.
Sure.
But those comedies are pitched at such a silly level, somewhere under the airplane Naked Gun model, but somewhere way over the top where you don't get any human stuff. Like, I'm thinking of great comedies like Manhattan and Tootsie. Those don't really even exist anymore.
What do you think about the gender dimension of, say, Tina Fey, Amy Poehler, some of these people?
Those women are totally capable of making a great human comedy.
Well, that's what I'm asking, I guess, is does the fact that they're female bring a dimension to it that expands and improves on the buddy film?
No.
Okay.
No, they don't. I mean, look back on Bridesmaids, which was basically it was a smash hit, a very amusing film. There were some hints and tinges of depth there, but really there wasn't. It was no better than The Hangover. It was Hangover for women, and that's
Yeah, okay.
where we are. Like,
Okay.
they're not adding anything to it, other than the fact that they're just. I mean, this product, you mentioned how successful these Melissa McCarthy movies. Good for her, because, yeah, women want to see themselves reflected on screen. They want to laugh at themselves. They want to laugh at their foibles and their predicaments. So that's great that she's able to kind of give that to that audience, because, there's a lack of that product.
Well, maybe the male buddy films, with the exception of Butch Cassidy and Easy Rider, and I suppose we could have a few that are really substantial, are, as you were saying, basically comedies, and certainly the Lethal Weapon franchise is
Turned into that,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's turned into that. I'm searching and hoping for some kind of a depth that women usually bring, say, to relationships. Some more feeling, some more introspection, and even in the face of comedy, some more seriousness. That's why I'm thinking Heat may be the beginning of a very significant buddy film change that's due in large part to gender. Now, these women...
That's a great... I mean, that'd be great, but I don't see the evidence of it post Heat.
I think I did say I'm hoping for.
You're hoping for it, okay. Well, I don't think it's gonna happen. I saw a tinge of hope last year when Noah Baumbach's film Frances Ha came out.
Good for you.
And what a great performance
Yes.
by Greta Gerwig.
Yes.
A really nuanced performance. It was really a love letter to her, but also to a very quirky, contemporary Annie Hall-esque character.
Good.
And fully realized.
Now, there are a lot of co-eds around there. Did you catch any buddy business, or you?
No. There was no buddy business,
Okay.
but I'm just talking about women in comedy,
Okay.
and where that can go.
Yes.
To me, that was a great sign of potential,
Good.
but no one saw it.
Okay.
Right now coming out is this film starring Jenny Slate called Obvious Child.
Yeah, and it's good.
And it's very good.
Yeah,
it's getting
it's
great
smart.
reviews, right? And she also, it's not a buddy movie, but she is at front and center of this sort of, specifically female problem, and wrapping this human character around that problem. That's great. Now, I see potential, but people have to see these movies, John, or those movements don't happen.
Well, let's ask Jason to put together a film.
Jason Tostovan?
Yes. Why don't we have...
Ohio's winningest filmmaker?
Yes, I knew you'd pick up on that one. Well, let's have Greta Gerwig and Jenny Slate
Okay.
together in a buddy movie.
Oh, that sounds, see, now you're talking.